1968, our men had begun slinging guns across their shoulders and carrying axes and machetes, blades glistening in the sun, and out on the streets, every hour or two in the afternoons and evenings, their chanting could be heard, loud voices pouring out like libations from their mouths. Biafra win the war! That second year of the war, 1968, Mama sent me off. By this time, talk of all the festivities that would take place when Biafra defeated Nigeria had already begun to dwindle, supplanted rather by a collective fretting over what would become of us when Nigeria prevailed. Would we be stripped of our homes and of our lands? Would we be forced into menial servitude? Would we be reduced to living on rationed food? How long into the future would we have to bear the burden of our loss? Would we recover? All these questions because by 1968, Nigeria was already winning, and everything had already changed. But there were to be more changes. There is no way to tell the story of what happened with Amina without first telling the story of Mama's sending me off. Likewise, there is no way to tell the story of Mama's sending me off without also telling of Papa's refusal to go to the bunker. Without his refusal, the sending away might never have occurred, and if the sending away had not occurred, then I might never have met Amina. If I had not met Amina, who knows, there might be no story at all to tell. So the story begins, even before the story, on June 23rd, 1968. Ubosi chiji ehihejie. The day night fell in the afternoon, as the saying goes, or as Mama sometimes puts it, the day that night overtook day, the day that Papa took his leave from us. It was a Sunday, but we had not gone to church that morning on account of the coming raid. The night before, the radios had announced that enemy planes would once more be on the offensive for the next couple of days at least. It was best for anyone with any sort of common sense to stay home, Papa said. Mama agreed. Not far from me in the parlor, Papa sat at his desk hunched over, his elbows on his thighs, his head resting on his fisted hands. The scent of Mama's fried akara, all the way from the kitchen, was bursting into the parlor air. Papa sat with his forehead furrowed and his nose pinched, as if the sweet and spicy scent of the akara had somehow become a foul odor in the air. Next to him, his radio gramophone. In front of him, a pile of newspapers. Early that morning, he had listened to the radio with its volume turned up high, as if he were hard of hearing. He had listened intently as all the voices spilled out from Radio Biafra. Even when Mama had come and asked him to turn it down, that the thing was disturbing her peace, that not everybody wanted to be reminded at every moment of the day that the country was falling apart. Still, he had listened to it as loudly as it would sound. But now the radio sat with its volume so low that all that could be heard from it was a thin, static sound, a little like the scratching of skin. Until the war came, Papa looked only lovingly at the radio gramophone. He cherished it the way things that matter to us are cherished. Bibles and old photos, water and air. It was, after all, the same radio gramophone passed down to him from his father, who had died the year I was born. All the grandparents had then followed Papa's father's lead. The next year, Papa's mother passed, and the year after, and the one after that, Mama lost both her parents. Papa and Mama were only children, no siblings, which they liked to say was one of the reasons they cherished each other.